You close your eyes exhausted. You wake up more exhausted. And somewhere deep inside, you've started to wonder if something is actually wrong with you. Nothing dramatic happened. You didn't run a marathon. You didn't pull an all-nighter. You just lived your day, went to bed at a reasonable hour, and your body still punishes you every single morning like it forgot what rest is supposed to feel like. That feeling when the alarm goes off and your first thought isn't about the day ahead, it's about how many hours until you can go back to sleep again. That heavy, foggy, almost drugged sensation that sits on your chest before you even put your feet on the floor. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And here's what makes it worse. You've probably already tried everything obvious. Earlier bedtimes, no screens before sleep, melatonin, chamomile tea, maybe you even bought one of those sunrise alarm clocks. And still, every single morning your brain wakes up feeling like it never actually rested at all. This is not laziness. This is not weakness. This is biology that most people have never been taught to understand. Let me tell you what's actually happening inside your brain while you sleep, because once you understand this, everything changes. Your brain has a system, a biological cleaning and repair process that runs during sleep. Scientists have spent decades studying this, and what they found is extraordinary. While you sleep, your brain actually flushes out toxic waste products that build up throughout the day from normal thinking and activity. It's like a cleaning crew that only comes in at night. But here's the critical part. This cleaning process only works properly under very specific conditions. Conditions that most modern humans are unknowingly destroying every single day. And when that cleaning crew can't do its job, you wake up with yesterday's mental garbage still sitting in your head. The fog, the heaviness, the complete absence of that feeling of being genuinely refreshed. That's not tiredness from sleeping. That's tiredness from not actually recovering while you slept. Now, before I go deeper, I want to say something important. There is a program linked in the description below this video. It goes far beyond what we can cover here, and it walks you through exactly how to fix this at the root level. People who have gone through it describe mornings they forgot were even possible, that feeling of eyes opening and actually wanting to get up. If that sounds like something you need, go check the description now, because the spots available have been filling quickly and we don't know how long it will stay accessible. But if you're someone who thinks you can figure this all out on your own, maybe you don't need it. Keep watching. See what you think. Back to your brain. Let me walk you through a single night inside your head, and I want you to picture this like you're watching it happen from above. The moment you fall asleep, your brain doesn't go quiet. It gets to work. In the first phase of sleep, your body begins dropping its temperature. Your heart rate slows. Your muscles start releasing the tension they've been holding all day, tension you didn't even realize you were carrying. This phase is critical. It's the on-ramp to real recovery. But here's where millions of people get derailed without knowing it. If you looked at your phone within an hour of sleeping, your brain received a specific type of light signal that tells your internal clock it's still daytime. That clock then delays the release of your primary sleep hormone. Not by minutes, by hours. Which means even if you fall asleep, you're entering the sleep cycle at the wrong biological time, like trying to catch a bus after it already left. Now move deeper into the night. Around 90 minutes after falling asleep, something remarkable should happen. Your brain enters its deepest state of repair. This is where memory gets sorted, where emotional processing happens, where growth hormone floods your system to rebuild every tissue in your body. This is the stage that makes you feel genuinely restored. Researchers call it slow-wave sleep, and it is the single most important phase of your entire night. But here's the brutal truth. Alcohol, which most people think helps them sleep, actually blocks this phase almost entirely. That nightcap, that glass of wine to unwind, it might help you fall asleep faster, but it robs you of the one thing that makes sleep worth having. And the next morning you pay the price in that thick, groggy, half-alive feeling that you've probably blamed on yourself for years. Stress does the same thing through a completely different mechanism. When you carry unresolved mental tension into your sleep, your brain keeps part of itself on alert. It's monitoring for threats that your conscious mind never fully let go of. Your body stays in a low-grade stress response all night. Cortisol, your stress hormone, stays elevated when it should be at its lowest point. And elevated nighttime cortisol is one of the most well-documented causes of waking up exhausted despite sleeping for 7 or 8 hours. Think about the last time you had a truly bad day. Arguments, deadlines, anxiety about something you couldn't control, and then remember how you felt the next morning. That wasn't a coincidence. Your brain processed that threat all night instead of resting. Now here's where it gets really interesting and really personal. Your brain has a second clock. Not just the one that responds to light, but an internal timing system that regulates when each stage of sleep should happen throughout the night. This clock is driven by temperature, by meal timing, by movement patterns, by dozens of subtle environmental cues you send your body all day without realizing it. When those cues are inconsistent, when you eat late some nights and early others, when you sleep in on weekends and wake up early on weekdays, when your room temperature varies, your internal clock gets confused. And a confused internal clock produces fragmented sleep. Sleep where you're technically unconscious but cycling through stages incorrectly, spending too much time in light sleep and not nearly enough in the deep repair phases that actually matter. The result? You could sleep 9 hours and wake up feeling like you only slept 4. Not because sleep doesn't work, because your sleep architecture is broken. And here's the number that should make you stop scrolling. Research suggests that chronically poor sleep quality, the kind where your brain never fully recovers, is associated with cognitive function that's measurably impaired, equivalent to going without sleep entirely for 1 to 2 days. Every single day. You are making decisions, managing relationships, doing your work with a brain that is running significantly below its actual capacity. And you don't even feel it because it becomes your normal, that foggy baseline you've accepted as just how you feel in the mornings. That's not who you are. That is your brain begging for something different. Picture this. A different morning. Not a fantasy, just biology working the way it was designed to work. Eyes open. Not because an alarm tore you out of something, but because your body actually completed its cycles. The first breath isn't a sigh of resignation. Your thoughts are clear before your feet even touch the floor. There's no mental mud to push through just to remember what day it is. Your mood isn't defensive. It's open, ready. That version of you exists. That is what your brain is capable of when its recovery systems are actually functioning. People who have experienced this shift after years of exhausted mornings often describe it as getting years of their life back. Not just energy, clarity, patience, creativity. The feeling of being genuinely present in your own life again. Because here's what chronic sleep exhaustion actually costs you beyond just feeling tired. Research consistently shows that sleep-deprived individuals are significantly more reactive emotionally. Arguments that wouldn't matter become conflicts. Decisions that require clear thinking get made from a foggy, frustrated place. Relationships absorb the damage of a person who is chronically running on empty. Productivity that could take 2 hours stretches into 5. Every single area of your life is being taxed by this one biological problem you may not even know you have. That's the real cost of ignoring this, not just tired mornings. Your relationships, your performance, your mood, your ability to show up as the person you actually want to be. Now let's talk about what actually works, because this is where most of the information you've found before was incomplete. The temperature of your sleep environment matters more than almost any other physical factor. Your brain needs your core temperature to drop by about 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate the deep repair stages. A room that's too warm literally prevents your brain from entering the phases that restore it. 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is the range that research consistently supports. The timing of your last meal matters enormously. Eating within 2 to 3 hours of sleep forces your body to prioritize digestion over recovery. Insulin responses from late meals signal your brain that it's still in active mode. That signal competes directly with the signals your brain needs to trigger deep sleep. The gap between your last meal and sleep isn't about digestion. It's about giving your brain permission to switch modes. Morning light exposure, specifically natural sunlight within 30 minutes of waking, resets your internal clock more powerfully than almost anything else. It tells every system in your body exactly what time it is, and a brain that knows exactly what time it is sleeps on schedule, cycles correctly, and restores completely. Consistency of sleep and wake times even on weekends is not a suggestion. Your internal clock literally cannot distinguish between weekends and weekdays. Every time you sleep in by 2 hours on a Saturday, you give yourself a form of jet lag that takes several days to recover from, by which point it's already the next weekend. And the mental offloading you do before sleep, getting the unresolved thoughts, the worries, the unfinished tasks out of your head and onto paper before you lie down, reduces the threat monitoring activity your brain performs all night. Your brain cannot rest from something it still thinks needs to be held onto. These are not hacks, these are the actual mechanisms. And when you align with all of them simultaneously, the shift is not subtle. People report that within days, sometimes within the first night of genuine implementation, mornings begin to feel categorically different. Now listen carefully because this is important. Everything in this video is a starting point, a map drawn at a high altitude. If you are someone who has tried pieces of this before and still wakes up exhausted, the answer isn't more willpower. It's a more complete understanding of how your specific patterns are interfering with your recovery. That is exactly what the program in the description below addresses. It takes you through the full picture in a way that's specific, structured, and designed to actually produce that different morning we talked about. The one where your eyes open and something finally feels right. This isn't for people who are fine with where they are. It's for the person who is genuinely ready to stop accepting exhaustion as a personality trait. If that's you, the link is in the description. Go there now, before another morning slips by unchanged.